I'm slightly more old now. So with my birthday being actual Valentine's Day, that means that I need to post some sort of waifu video. And if we're talking modern card fight Vanguard, that only means one thing. Ruka, Miyako, if you've seen anything recently, you already freaking know how much I freaking love this free-spirited, world-traveling, unite the world with Vanguard tomboy. Not saying I have a type, but give me someone who's a Ruka in real life. Anyways, she has a deck that I have played the last 2 sets that's been out in the US. I don't know why I was going that sudden. And surprisingly, I honestly, like, at first I thought it would just be like a haha funny, we'll build it for the waifu sake. Nannaclir actually slaps. Like, it's taken a little bit of time to just figure out its win condition, but it gets there. Maybe not regional level yet, but it gets there. It could X1 consistently at local tournaments, so. Thought I'd give you guys a little treat today, slash birthday treat for me, and showing off what has quickly become one of my favorite standard deck of the current format. That's not called Hound Razor or Direful Dolls, hashtag GearMoonCircus. This still counts. Nannaclir is still kind of a time traveler. The whole lore on Stray Garden is that it opens up to those who can see the future or whatever, so still time fairy. I don't care. As always, if you guys enjoy this kind of video, make sure to leave a like. Maybe subscribe if you're new. It'd be a great birthday present for me to get more YouTube happy fun times and maybe eventually go full-time with this or whatever. But enough prattle, let's go ahead and dive on into the actual deck camera. Had to do the actual deck segment on camera number 2 because how else are we going to show off the actual Ruka mat? Thank you, Triple R. Let's go ahead and get started with the Ryland, of course, because, you know, it's pretty basic. I mean, that's strong starter, but I don't care because we're using the SP and, yeah. Gotta show off both of our glorious leaders. Grassconi is pretty much just a grade 1 that says when you ride over it, it calls out to rearguard as a physical attacker or booster. In this deck, we want to go first, which means we're not going to be generating the Ruka zone quite as fast, but that's okay because if you ever see more than 6 energy face up, you're doing something wrong. Also, it's still incomplete. I only have 9 Rukas, so there's Naki as number 10. It counts. Like I said, when you ride over it with the cute little axolotl, it comes out with the addition of a soul charge, which is this deck has a strange amount of soul play in it, so the Ram Soul Charge is all right, question mark. Important part here is that you get a guy out. Like I said, if you go first like you're supposed to, this is a free attacker, and is a body that we don't mind losing, because even though it is a 13k booster, that's fine. This deck has so much infinite recursion. Just rush out the pup, yo dog, what up? If it survives and becomes another column, it can make numbers on its own. Then of course, when you ride the Avatar, you have to move out the Otter as well. And he becomes a booster when you're in Stray Garden, so 15k booster, just have it chilling behind the Vanguard, but you could put it in another column if you want to. It's just, this is a free 28 column with triple drive, because I mean, I should probably go over Nannaclir's effect and, you know, gets some skills, but yeah, just calls out Soul Charge required from your drop zone to replace it. You're the Horse promos went out, I still need one more. But with Ryland out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the fairy girl herself proper, Nannaclir. This is my only shiny version in a deck that's otherwise pimped out, so help me find some cool shiny ones by checking out my page on TCG Player or supporting me on ye old Patreon if you want to not buy cards but still want to help support the channel. The good girl has 3 good abilities. First of all, if you have 3 guys with Paradise in their name, you become in Stray Garden, which is kind of a keyword world thing, which activates your entire deck. Most of the cards in this you'll be seeing do have a skill to say if you're in Stray Garden. Hers is that she gets triple drive, actual keyword triple drive. You can use everyone's favorite elementary on it. Beyond that, as a Stoic card, she of course has the ability to check your top 5 and call it a thing for the cost of Energy Blast 3. So like I said, if you're showing Ruka's off for more than 2 turns, you're doing something wrong, because that is your 3 energy for the turn. Immediately spend on that ability. That said, it's really cool the fact that this could call anything. It's not restricted to her keyword Paradise cards, but if it's a Paradise card, you will get a nice bonus. And in addition to that, it could also look for the order that will show off in just a couple seconds. So nice deck thing ability. If you ever don't have a board for some reason, you just make a board. That's fine. She gets triple drive, and by the way, on attack, counter blast 1, choose one of your rear guards to stand it. Not Paradise locked. Nothing here is keyword restricted. It's just you're supposed to play with the keyword. So if you have cool generic Stoic stuff, feel free to run it and just have fun superior call out deck. By the way, reset. This effectively makes the deck, I don't want to say Virgula, but sure is an on-attack counter blast 1 restand the rear guard. So to go with her restand, I think we have the world's coolest grade 3 rear guard in Belle Noire, who has, you know, these skills or whatever. First of all, he is all 5 of you in Paradise. Cool. Like I said, the Guardian opens up to those who want to see the future and gives them buffs, so he becomes an 18k, I guess. Then, when he is restood by an ability, you know, like this does. He's gonna first of all get a crit +1 if you haven't increased his critical yet, pre-triggers or whatever, or also spoilers on this order, you cannot double them up. And then when he attacks, you can soul blast a copy of your Vanguard Nannaclir in order to get plus 10,000. Big beefy beater gets a crit, so does this get a crit. Let's go ahead and talk about the order, because this is effectively the order in unit form is the way I'm phrasing it. We have a 4 full sets of Flula. I need one more frame rate, it makes me sad. This is the order with a couple of abilities. First of all, if it is revealed by an effect, like, you know, Nannaclirs or some other ones we'll go over, you get to draw a card. Free plus engine is always nice. Speaking of pluses, when it is played, you get choice of one of these 2 abilities. The first one says that you could choose a Paradise card in a drop zone called Rear Guard. By the way, this goes to Soul after you do this thing, but oh no, they killed him. Let's soul blast it. Yo dog, what up? Welcome back. Or just like any other card, that's just the only one we've done so far. So you get a revival off it. This is basically your have fun against control matchups. Cool. Then the other effect, when I'm using more often than not, because by God you build field in this and just laugh at control. I honestly have faced person and just said, cool story, bro. You don't matter to me at all. Choose one of your Paradise guys is gonna get +5, and then when we see as if you are in a stray garden. Look, it's literally the art. Right there, you get a crit. So, like I said, another copy of this. The important thing to note is that he does not stack with this. So effectively, you're going to be playing one or the other for turn. Or if you just want to have him out, provide something in drop zone that matters, there you go. There's a lot of options to this card, which is great. And effectively, this doubles up on my theory that this is still a K of Vergla, because guess what the 2 Vergla orders do? Of course, 4 copies of that. Unfortunately, we don't really rely on it as much as we used to, thanks to Belnor being the boy. But between those 2, you are effectively going to have a rear guard standing with a crit every single turn, which means our trigger lineup, we are running 7 critical triggers. I would say 8, but this is a 4 attack deck. I do like to run 4 fronts in here, especially the +5 front or whatever for defensive purposes. I've experimented a little bit with running like 5 and 7 or whatever. I can do math. 5 and 6. Ultimately, I think that the winning image I come up with is just relying on one of these 2 cards in order to guarantee a critical on your 4th attack. So when you hit your triple drive, you want to try and put a critical on your other column, so you're constantly threatening both sides of the field for lethal damage. This is once again a very aggressive deck. I found that turn 1 you don't do too much, but turn 2 just goes swinging out of the gates, and after that you just always have board. So you can very quickly ramp up damage, because that we want to threaten with critical triggers a lot more than usual. But like I said, power-ups is good for full field, so lethality, I do like a 4 copies. Yellow Trigger, I'm just gonna show it off because it's the correct one. All glory to Leonor. Yeah, it's okay as a nation that could run a butt ton of over triggers. I've considered red because that's the only way to get a 5th attack, but that is also a 5th attack that you only get 1 time. You may as well just go with the Uber trigger that gives you every single effect. And once again, we want to threaten criticals, so this sure does give a crit to something while also giving you a front trigger, while also letting you heal, while also letting you draw. So there you go. Really good. Still happy I have an SP1 now. Back to the deck proper. This is where we're going to start talking about our other Paradise cards, because that is, you know, the gimmick of the deck. You want to have Paradise units in order to gain your skills. So we got some Leaf Dragons. This is a check top 3, check top 7, depending on if you're in Paradise or not. And you get the call thing, or, you know, or be one of these out your hands. Then you can Soul Blast 1, give them +10. Like I said, you're doing a decent amount of soul, but these go back to Soul. So there's some other cards I'm going to tell you. And honestly, funny thing for her ride line, just put another Nannaclir in Soul, Bell Noir it. There you go, get some extra power. We'll only run 3 now because you just built her outfield so much more than I thought you would. I guess that like your only real counterblast for deck is these 2 units, so you're a little free to use those skills, but I just rather save it for her restand in case they try to deny you. So not as important for the on-call. Maybe early game you can build board off it, maybe late game if you running out of resources you can build board off it, but more important, just be a 20k attacker, because if in case all else fails, restand, make big numbers. What's a little more important than that though is your restanding grade 1 in this healthy little piece of lettuce. We run 4 full copies, because in addition to being another Nevi that just restands when the thing in front of it restands, it also has the ability to just sack it off and let you cast your order from drop zone. This makes it effectively a replacement for Avarice Wrestler clones and Bessays in Nation, because, you know, you want to have Paradise cards. This is the Paradise card. But also it being a restander doubles up, makes it so your columns a lot more threatening. You could actually boost first attack, and being able to cast that from drop zone means that you can now freely not only play these whenever you feel like it, but also drop them for the ride line, just not really care. Super diverse, super good. We have to run 4 copies of it, absolutely. It's like our grade 1 of the deck. We got 4 Whole Otters. This is a 15-15, 15-10, which is, oh no, whatever, power attacker, that's fine. He also, oh no, I dropped one. Yeah. He goes back in the soul at the end of turns, so very similar to Belnor in that sense. You're going to be finding a lot of your front row attackers not only are just going to feed your free soul for your random soul class deck that you randomly have, but they also yeet themselves out of the way, so control, have fun. In addition to that, him being a 10k shield is kind of nice because you have that defensive booty if you need it. 15k attacker is also good. On top of your power-ups from being in things, you make pretty good numbers, like I think just that. That's like 23k you standing column for no reason. Or if you have the dog from the ride line, there's another 5k boost, so on and so forth. And then he does refund himself by going to Soul Elite, you draw a card, so free plus is free. I guess it's a wonderful one, but free plus is free. Otter is a very good card, absolutely for him. This is your ideal call for as soon as you hit grade 3. Then the other new card that the deck runs, I run 3 copies, honestly. Text-based, I might cut it down to like 2 or 1 because you only ever need to see 1, or just this thing of make sure you see them, I guess. So Flourish has 2 little abilities. First of all, it was on the field chilling. When it boosts the guy, you can choose another thing and give it +5 and a turn. Pop goes Weasel. There you go, more things that clean themselves off of the board. This is good to help you hit numbers in case you need to hit thresholds or just buff up your thing on the rescan attack. Pass defensive triggers, all that fun stuff. Cool. But what's more important is the second ability, or I guess the first one. Read the second one first. And that is Drop Zone. At the ride phase, when you ride into a Nannaclir, you're able to resurrect him from the Drop Zone. Now, this is Maple Clone, but it's a Maple Clone that could potentially sack. And that is because if you do not have another copy of him currently on the board, you're able to use this effect for free. However, if you do have multiple copies chilling out of the Drop Zone, activate the first one. Second one costs a Soul Blast. You can potentially flood board with these. I wouldn't recommend it. You'll only ever really need one because, let's be real, Lettuce has to just be chilling on your board at all points in time. But the fact that you have that option is nice. Like I said, you might be able to cut it down to a 2 or 1 and start filling in some tech room. Speaking of which, let's talk techs. First of all, show off a couple of things that could replace them because, like I said, there is a little tech room now. You have good grade 1, A, and B. These, unfortunately, are on place from hand, which means that they do not work with her ability, which I immediately axe them out for that. Same thing with Philander, really, is just, what do you want to set up? Do you want to set up your orders? Do you want to call grade 1s? Do you want to bury something from your deck? Speaking of orders, this is the Teeth Fault clone. Sure, we'll go with that. Manga promo, awesome. Can't wait to play this in a deck that actually matters. But effectively, just if you play to order, then Soul Blast 1, check top 5, add an order, call a card, and has a nice little ability that if it attacks, if it is placed on your guard from Drop Zone, and no, it's not gonna happen. We're just not gonna read that part. But you know, you get to Energy Blast 2 and it's on the card, so that's pretty cool. Go back to that pile in a second, but I do want to talk about an actual tech that matters, and that is Mr. Persona Ride Tideline Dragon. Very classic card, just Soul Blast 1 on a Persona Ride turn, give 10,000 power to another unit, and itself is going to make numbers. I mean, a +10 on top of the Persona Ride is already a 30k on its own. Don't forget that you rescan stuff. You rescan a guy once per turn, so even if you don't want to give up to Vanguard for extra power, oh no. Remember that Belnor that we gave the crit to? Remember whatever you played the order on? Yeah, +10 that. Because of that, I think Persona Riding is super important in this deck. I almost wanted to make a Regalis piece, gratitude. But I mean, if you're playing an order for turn, it's probably going to be this, unless you know it's my other order that I run as one of. This special body conversation, we use the good art because of course we do. The promo looks awesome. Set 1 classic, Soul Blast 1, choose a card with equal to or less than your Vanguard's current grade, call it, you get +5. Cool. This is important because of all the soul shenanigans that we do. The fact that our Belnors go to soul, the fact that our Weasels go to soul. This will let you resurrect something in your Drop Zone, and you can always target whatever is in your soul, so you just go Soul Blast, call back out. Also good because the turn 2 play, as you may have noticed by now, this entire deck goes online once you hit your grade 3 turn, so first 2 turns are kind of meh. This makes you be a little bit more aggressive if DB. Really good tech. One of my other optional order thought would in fact be Ghost Milk, for the same reason as the grade 3 is mattering. This is a really random amount the game once I played it. Use up your trade 2 or greater normal units from drop. Put on top of your deck. This goes to shoulder, whatever. Fact is that this is going to stack your Persona Rides and your Belnoirs to use them all over again. I don't think it's ever come to play anytime I tested it, but it is definitely an option that you could run. So is Mythiarch Habitat, of course, but I mean, if you think you're running a random call things order, it's going to be that, because your soul actually matters a lot in this deck. Then rounding things off, outside of our perfect guards, we do, as you see, run a decent amount of grade 3, so I kind of want to make up the shield deficit, and that is by running Twin Cast as a Regalis piece of choice. Not much to say about it that you don't already know. You can play it once, use the 10k shield, play it again, make it a 15k shield from your Drop Zone, discard for Ride Line for free. It's a free. It's called Twin Cast because you can cast it twice, and I kind of want the promo art that just got announced for Japan. Then the final card is one copy of our energy Nannaclir, Twin C Rumble Brave Shooter, whatever he's called. Just like everyone else, it's just on discard for Redliner, on guard, Counter Blast or Energy Blast 3, and draw a card. Not much you can say about that. It's a good effect. There's a reason that these things are super expensive now. But his Return to Ride skill is also kind of nice, given that same cost. Choose a grade 2 or less normally. A different name from this, which is whatever we only want one, or an order card. And put the hand, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. Cycle ability. Welcome to like any card in this deck. Get it back. Discard something else that doesn't matter, and you're just gonna resurrect or whatever. Good effect. We're only running one here because, like I said, our energy is always going to be going to Nannaclir. Especially if you go first, which I think this deck always should. Now, turn 2, 3C energy, turn 3C energy. Then every turn, spend 3, make the 3, spend the 3, make the 3, spend it. So realistically, you're only ever going to have 3 energy to chill out with. That's what he's for. I guess you could also use AC Unit for that, but if AC Unit once again is on plays from hand, that's not what this deck does. We on plays from Superior Call, or Superior Call, or Superior. How did Haru turned into my microphone? Speaking of best girls that have some sort of relation to gardening, a little bit kind of, but something else completely. So anyways, what do y'all think about Nannaclir? I personally think it's a very aggressive deck. You can just go right out of the gate and start threatening as early as turn 2 and somehow sustains because you're able to continuously rebuild board. You grab stuff out of drop zone, you grab stuff out of deck, you grab stuff out of, well, those are the only 2 places, but you're just consistently building more. Like, control means nothing to you. Half the time you don't need to even use any of your skills, and that just means your hand is defensive and your board is defensive. It's very adaptable. And I think, like, the only thing it really struggles from is maybe long game with big numbers, I guess. That's what I have to say about Nannaclir. What about you? Leave your comments down below. And while you're down there, maybe consider hitting subscribe if you guys are new and you enjoy this kind of content. As always, if you want to help support me on this channel, be sure to check out my page on TCG Player where I sell my own card game stuff. Or if you want to help me maybe finally afford that DSR Nannaclir, check me out on Patreon. You give me $1 just to say thanks, or a little bit more to get some perks, like having your name right around here on the video is what I put if I had anyone on that $5 tier yet. But it is actually my birthday as this goes live, so everyone comment happy birthday down below. I probably gotta go and be on the phone with like every single relative that calls me or whatever. So until next time, thank you guys for watching, and always embrace the infinite.